Hi guys, so in today's video we're actually doing a video on not something I thought I'd be doing a video on this year, to be honest with you, but we're talking about Battlefield of all things. Very recently we had a trailer teaser drop, which is currently playing obviously on screen now, for something called Battlefield Labs. Now EA have come out and basically dropped this on us out of the blue. And it's quite exciting. It looks quite good actually, so I thought we'd make a video about it. So what's happened is they've dropped this trailer for something they're calling Battlefield Labs. Now the new Battlefield game is in development, and there are actually 4 studios now working on this new game, which is the most I believe they've ever had. They've also got Vince Zampella as well, kind of leading the studios, I believe. From what I understand in the video, and he's kind of like leading the rest of them essentially. For those of you that don't know, Vince Zampella was kind of helped to create Titanfall, so that's a good thing because those games are incredible. So you've got someone at the helm that actually knows what they're doing. We've got 4 different studios. They're kind of all being utilized in different ways. Some are helping to make kind of single player aspects as well as multiplayer aspects. Some are obviously used for like sound design and things like that. Others are focused solely on multiplayer, etc, etc. So there are 4 studios that have come together now to actually help make this next Battlefield game. I presume it's just going to be called Battlefield 6, or something. I don't know. I'm assuming. They haven't really said. But the reason I wanted to make a video on this is that it's very interesting the way they're taking the development route. Now normally what happens is with game devs is obviously they sit down, they obviously get the idea for the game, they make the game, and then depending on what type of game it is, maybe there'll be alpha tests, maybe there'll be betas and open betas for the players to obviously play the game in its beta testing, and then obviously then provide feedback to the devs to say like any bugs, any glitches, any issues that they had, so then obviously the devs then can jump back into the development, fix and iron out those issues ready for the launch, and then obviously then launch the game hopefully in a completed status. That's how it's meant to go. Now in the last kind of 5, 6, 7 years, that's not really how game development has gone anymore. What tends to happen these days is a game gets announced, the game gets close to launch, it's not ready, it either gets delayed because it needs final touches, but actually it doesn't, it just needs to be finished because it's not ready, or there's a beta that comes out way too close to when the game is due to release, so then when they get the beta info back, it's far too late then to implement those changes and that feedback because the launch date is right around the corner. Now what's interesting about this, and they've come out and said this openly as well, which I think they are excited for as well as we are, is that it's Battlefield Labs. So what they've said is they haven't actually kind of made the game yet, obviously, because they've only just kind of announced that it's in development, but the plan is with this Battlefield Labs is they're actually going to bring players on board to be able to play and experience and test the game throughout the entire development process. So they've actually come out and stated that players are going to be a part of developing this game literally from day one. It's not going to be they'll get to a certain stage, maybe an alpha stage, and then test it, or a beta stage and then do an open beta. They've actually come out and stated that you can sign up through Battlefield Labs, and then if you do that, and I presume if you're like selected, I'm assuming that's how it works, you can then obviously play test the game and give feedback and essentially help to develop the next Battlefield. Now from my perspective, personally, I think this is a huge step in the correct direction. Honestly, it would be very interesting to see more video games take this direction with their development. Especially in recent years where we've had games that have released unfinished, we've had games that have released broken and buggy, we've had games that are just downright awful because there have been some decisions made there that from our point as gamers we just don't agree or understand, and hence they make a bad video game. But with this kind of Battlefield Lab testing kind of idea that they're pursuing, in theory should iron out those problems from day one, because you're going to have the players there every step of the way. And obviously, as the consumer of that product, because obviously we are the people who buy it and obviously make EA money, they are obviously going to call the devs out every step of the way. If they see something they don't like, if they see something that they think is wrong, if they play something and they're like, yeah, this is not right, they're going to tell them, because they're not an employee. There's no risk for them, really. Maybe they'll get let go of the labs testing, maybe. Like, I don't know if that is something they're going to be doing, I don't know. But obviously, because we are the consumer of that product, obviously we are going to be far more critical and judgmental of it rather than the people creating it. Because obviously when you're creating something, it's a lot harder for you to be objective towards it because you're the person making it. Whereas obviously from an outside perspective, obviously someone looking at what you've made is going to be able to be far more critical, far more kind of objective, and kind of harsh if they need to be. And I think that's what they need. You know, the last couple of Battlefield games weren't great. You know, the last good one that I played was Battlefield 1, and then Battlefield 5 I did play, and it's okay. It's not the best thing I've ever played. And then Battlefield 2042 I just straight up skipped because the game released in such an unfinished, buggy state that I just refused to play it because I just didn't see the point. I am aware that now, as far as I know, it is at a much better place, and it's a lot better, but it's too little too late. I'm just not interested now. I don't want to play it now. It should have been in that finished state when it came out, and it wasn't. Therefore, I'm never going to play it, and that's just the end of it. So the last good one I played was Battlefield 1. Before that, I played Battlefield 4. I've dabbled a little bit in Battlefield 3, but not really. So it would be quite nice to get a Battlefield game to actually come out and be a good, finished, working product with a solid campaign, solid multiplayer, and just good, fun, grounded gameplay. Now, they haven't explicitly stated whether this new game is going to be set in the past, so like World War One, World War Two, maybe the Cold War, etc., or if we're going back to the modern day era. Personally, I would rather it go back to the modern day. We had 2 games obviously in the previous, we had 2042 in the future. Maybe now it's time to come back to the modern and the present and keep it grounded in today's reality, maybe with a little bit of high tech, but not something that's like, you know, 2042's kind of futuristic. I think bringing it back to the present day to kind of grounded realism a little bit could be really good for the franchise. You know, we had Battlefield 1, we had Battlefield 5, so we've had some of the World War shooters. We then had 2042, we had the futuristic. So now I think it's time for us to go back to the present day, back to, you know, grounded in reality kind of shooter, and kind of bring it back to present day. Obviously with this video, obviously it's not my video, it's obviously from EA and obviously the Battlefield team, so obviously I take no credit for anything going on in here. I will leave a link in the description if you want to go and watch the actual video itself. It's only about 5 minutes long, but if you want to go and watch the actual just straight up uncut video itself, I'll put a link to that in the description, so you can then go and obviously see kind of Vince Zampella and the other devs talking about kind of what they're doing, what the different studios are going to be doing, and kind of what the kind of general idea is. But I wanted to make a video on this because A, I just genuinely didn't think I would be making a video about Battlefield anytime soon, and B, I'm genuinely am curious about this. I may even sign up myself because this is very, very interesting to see a game take this direction for development. Is a massive step in the right direction. Like I said earlier in the video, obviously we've had games in the past do alphas, betas, open betas, public testing. That's been a thing for a while, and that is great too. Those things are really good as well because again, they allow you to get player feedback. They allow you to understand what your audience wants from their video game, what flaws your video game may have, what issues the game may have. That allows you to tap into their potential as the consumer, as the gamer. They can tell you this is the problem, X, Y, and Z. You can then go back in as a developer, fix those issues, iron out any creases, and then release them with a far better product than if you would have just ignored them and then just gone off your own back and then just played it solo. But to see a game actually bring the gamers in before the game's even started properly being developed is incredible. I personally think that a lot more game studios should do this. You know, I know for sure Ubisoft could use a bit of a push in the right direction in recent years, for example. But you know, this is an incredible way to go about a development cycle, and I am genuinely, like, actually very, very excited to see how this is going to go, how this is going to work, what they're going to do. I'm very excited. To put it bluntly, that this is a really cool way to do developing a game, and I'm very excited to see how they run with it, how it works, and obviously fingers crossed. Then at the end of it, we'll get a Battlefield game then that we like, that the devs are happy with, that works, is fun, has a solid campaign and a solid multiplayer, and will be played then for the next few years and remain kind of mainstream. Because I feel like Battlefield could really use a W. The last 2 games were not its strongest, and obviously with Call of Duty and Fortnite, there are a lot more contenders now as well for kind of mainstream video game media, and Battlefield, in my eyes, has fallen to the wayside a little bit. So to see if it could come out with a new game and come out all swinging, that would be incredible. But that's enough from me. Very short video this Friday, but I wanted to make a video about this Battlefield Labs thing because it's got everyone talking, and I'm genuinely really excited to see how this goes. I may even sign up to this myself if I meet like whatever criteria they have, because that would be really cool and to kind of give you guys insights, unless I have to like obviously not say things. I don't know how it would work. I'll have a look into it though, and maybe I'll let you guys know. But if you enjoyed the video, then please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, because that stuff obviously helps me out. We're on the road to kind of 400 subs at the moment. We're at about 312, I think it is. So we're slowly making our way to 400. If we could hit 500 in the next few months, that would be incredible. And if you want to watch the actual Battlefield Labs video itself, there will be a link in the description. I'll pop that in there so you can just go and watch the actual video itself, kind of watch what they're talking about, see from their perspective, and kind of get their thoughts on the whole program as well. But other than that, leave a comment as well, if you're going to sign up for this, what you think of this. I personally think this is a good thing. I'm still not going to pre-order the game when it is announced properly. I'm still going to wait because I'm not that silly. But let me know what you guys think as well in the comments. You guys know I always love to have a conversation about video games with you guys. But as always, much love. Take care of yourselves, and I'll either see you in the next video next week, or see you in one of the streams, maybe if you drop in there on Twitch as well. I'm live every Tuesday and every Thursday, so maybe I'll see you then. But other than that, hope you enjoyed, and again, much love as always, and take care as well.